After 37 years in the sport of boxing, Showtime is stepping away from the sport as Paramount shifts focus and fight pros have reacted to the news. The official statement from the company stated, "As we evolve our strategy to more efficiently allocate resources and align our content offerings across the business, we've made the difficult decision not to move forward with boxing and other content produced by the Showtime sports team. Showtime will continue to air and support the remaining 2023 boxing slate and honor obligations through the end of the year. We want to express our deepest gratitude to our employees who have contributed to this award-winning sports programming over multiple decades." Quite a few pros believe that the sport needs to evolve at this point, and Teofimo Lopez stated, "I'm saying this now, just like I said a couple of years back about Showtime boxing ending. Knowing you old heads will keep the same system going, I give our beloved sport no more than 7 to 10 years left before not one network will want to contribute with our sport. We need change." Ryan Garcia believes that there are still options out there for boxers, but the time to act is now. Ryan stated, "Today is a really important day for boxing. HBO and Showtime defined our sport for a generation, and now they are both out. All us boxers need to make this our collective fight. We gotta be thinking about marketing, new audiences, investors, global, all of it. Boxing is still the greatest sport in the world. We just gotta reimagine it." Terrence Crawford responded directly to Ryan's comments, and he believes that boxers can come together to figure this out. Terrence stated, "I couldn't agree more, Ryan Garcia. The system we have isn't going to fix this. We gotta think differently. Look at every other sport as building empires by doing it right. Us fighters need to come together. We can fight in the ring, but work together for our sport and our families." Oscar De La Hoya paid respect to Showtime for their years of service, but he believes that this is just the beginning of boxing. Oscar stated, "I salute Showtime for their near 40-year commitment to the sport that I love. I'm hopeful that we promoters can use this unfortunate situation to put our differences aside and start working together more often to help make more of the bigger fights and grow our sport." Dana White thinks that it's time for Showtime to step down, and he definitely had quite a few words to say.
Showtime is horrible. Those guys suck so bad. You guys could show up with your video cameras and do a better job than Show. It's serious. It's the worst production in all of television. PBS has better programming than Showtime. It's horrible. Everybody that works on that show should be embarrassed. There's no helping them out. Those guys have been in this longer than anybody, and they're the worst. They're the worst. That show is embarrassing. Their walkout takes 45 minutes. Then once they get in there, they got to sing 7 national anthems, and there's 347 guys in the ring for I don't know what, and you know what I mean? It's just, yeah.
In another interview, Dana decided to joke about Steven Espinosa's time at Showtime. Dana stated, "That's incredibly unfortunate. Production of that show is fantastic. The guy who runs Showtime Boxing is a great human being. It's unfortunate to hear this. Espinosa, and it's about time that product is off the air." Conor McGregor thinks that the solution is to have boxers step into the ring now, and Conor posted, "Showtime and HBO boxing is dead, but the @UFC is here and thriving. If you fighters in denial ever build up the courage to step into the cage and fight, the time is now. Full circle. Hashtag fighters in denial. Hashtag nowhere else to go. Hashtag chicken. Hashtag cornflake no sugar." Terrence Crawford and Oscar De La Hoya had a bit of back and forth as neither man could agree on who needs to step up. Terrence started by saying, "Respectfully, Oscar De La Hoya, if the boxers aren't at the table, it isn't going to work." Oscar disagrees and stated, "Respectfully, Terrence Crawford, I disagree. Fighters should hire smart, competent representation that will look out for the best interest of his client, and fighters should worry about the small window of opportunity they have to fight as many times as they can in their short careers." Terrence believes that Oscar's mentality is exactly what's wrong with the sport. Terrence stated, "This is exactly the point. I say we need boxers at the table, and Oscar de la Hoya says sit down and shut up. You really think we better if y'all keep running things? You don't get it. We need to do things differently, like other sports. We have the power and y'all can't keep us from using it. Eddie Hearn is definitely emotional about Showtime leaving boxing, but he understands that this is just part of the new process.
I think that, look, a lot of people don't get on with people in boxing, but you also got to look at the bigger picture. It's not great news for boxing. It's just a sign of the future and a sign of the way that content is being distributed and delivered to fight fans, and that is via streaming. You know, we saw that a couple of years ago. We made our own move to build those partnerships and those relationships, but boxing will be worse off without Showtime, as it was worse off without HBO. So there's a lot of people championing Steven Espinosa, losing his job and boxing not being part of that. But I know we've never really got on that well, but I think he's done a good job. I know I predicted this, 2 or 3 years ago and said it's coming. But one of the reasons it's lasted so long is because people are stubborn. I knew those discussions were taking place for them to leave boxing. But Steven did a great job and he wouldn't give in. And he fought for boxing. He believed in the product.
According to Steven Espinosa, this move had nothing to do with the people working at Showtime, and he stated, "The company's decision is not a reflection of the work we've done in recent years, nor of our long and proud history. Unfortunately, in a rapidly evolving media marketplace, the company has had to make difficult choices allocating resources, resetting priorities, and reshaping its content offering. While today's news is certainly difficult and disappointing, it is entirely out of our control." Paulie Malignaggi admitted that he had some problems with the company, but he also gave other thoughts on the matter. In his post, Paulie stated, "I'm just like all boxing fans. Showtime leaving boxing does not make me happy. Though we had our issues, this is bigger than me." In his video, Paulie also stated this.
My thoughts are on Showtime. What do you think? I'm going to be happy? Everybody makes like, being the past history that you had, you're probably happy. I'm not happy Showtime Boxing is gone, because Showtime Boxing was bigger than me and it was bigger than any other fighter. Showtime Boxing was a part of my childhood. It was a part of my growth experience in the sport of boxing. It was part of the experience of a lot of fans in my generation and even older and even younger within this sport. It's something that nobody who's going to be happy that Showtime is exiting. I can't see that, aside from maybe competitors. I can't see anybody really be.
Leonard Ellerby has hinted that he has some big moves coming up, and he stated, "Z, you already know I give zero what others think or say, lol. Watch this next move. They are going to be sick to their stomachs. Can't wait." Jake Paul agrees with Terrence Crawford, and he posted a simple response. Jake posted, "I'm all the way in." Chris Mannix seems to believe that PBC will be working on a deal with Amazon or another provider. Mannix stated, "I do know that PBC has talked to Amazon. I believe that's their preferred destination. They'd prefer to do a deal with Amazon. Amazon's gotten into sports more than other streaming services over the last couple of years. I know there have been discussions between PBC and Amazon. I don't know what Amazon's looking to do, whether they're looking to become a Showtime-like boxing provider or one-off shows. I don't know the answer to that question, but there has been dialogue between PBC officials and Amazon." Boxing Kingdom pointed out that Showtime made it easier when HBO stepped away, but now the sport is in big trouble. They posted, "Showtime leaving boxing is going to be one of the biggest blows to boxing in decades. When HBO left, Showtime softened the blow, and so did Fox. Currently, ESPN and DAZN are already stretched for dates. Unless another broadcaster enters, fighters will find it harder to get fights." Showbiz the Adult seems to agree with Ryan Garcia, and he thinks that this change could be good. He posted, "With the right attitude, Showtime leaving boxing can be good news." Ariel Awani definitely believes that this is a sad move for the sport though, and he posted, "Very sad news. Showtime Boxing has been an institution for decades. Amazing people have worked on those shows for years. What an unfortunate turn of events." Jamel Herring says there's only one thing that he'll miss from Showtime and HBO, and he posted, The one thing I will miss about HBO and Showtime is their 24/7 and all-access series. It got you hyped up during the build-up. According to reports, the 3 final Showtime events have been announced, and Michael Benson posted them on his social media. Benson stated the 3 final Showtime boxing events reportedly could be David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade on PPV on November 25th, then another PPV on December 9th, rumored Floyd Mayweather exhibition, and finally a non-PPV on December 16th, Keith Thurman versus Diamante Stenionis, and Danny Garcia versus Arislandi Lara, said to be possible for December 9th. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.